Warren and Sanders call for an antitrust investigation into Venu Sports. New York's flood warning drones screamed at residents in incomprehensible Spanish. And people are returning Humane AI Pins faster than the company can sell them. It's Thursday, August 8th, and this is Engadget News. Venu Sports appears poised to offer a one-stop shop for streaming all kinds of athletic events. However, the extensive amount of sports content controlled by Disney, which owns ESPN, Fox, and Warner Brothers Discovery, has raised questions about the upcoming streaming service. 3 members of Congress have called on the Department of Justice and the Federal Communications Commission to investigate whether Venu violates antitrust laws. Senator Elizabeth Warren, Senator Bernie Sanders, and Representative Joaquin Castro wrote in an open letter, if this joint venture is permitted to proceed, competitors would be forced to negotiate with Fox, Disney, and Warner Brothers for access to over half of the major sporting licensing rights while simultaneously competing against these companies to offer the best product to broadcast or stream these programs. They also questioned whether Venu could lead to increased prices for consumers, and the prices for Venu are already looking pretty steep with a launch price of $43 a month. This group is not the first to question this sports streaming venture. Shortly after the joint venture between the 3 companies was announced, Fubo TV filed a lawsuit alleging that Venu would fall afoul of antitrust laws. New York City has implemented a new drone warning system to alert residents to hazardous weather conditions. Unfortunately, the drones need to work on their Spanish. A resident spotted one of the new drones issuing a flood warning on Wednesday to New York City neighborhoods in English and Spanish. But the Spanish words that came out of the drones were incomprehensible, according to a resident who shared a video on social media. The drones had no problem issuing a weather warning in English as it delivered the news about an incoming batch of heavy rainfall in a clear and distinguishable tone. The Spanish message, however, sounded like a robot speaking the language for the first time. Zach Iskall, the commissioner of NYC's Emergency Management Department, acknowledged the mistake, saying, "This should not have happened, and we're going to make sure it doesn't happen again." The New York Times published a story on Tuesday about the new emergency alert drone system. The city sent the drones out to communities around 1 p.m. to inform residents about the heavy rainfall headed their way. Iskall told the newspaper that New York City Mayor Eric Adams came up with the idea to use drones as a new part of its warning system. Adams has instituted similar tech-heavy initiatives during his term, such as a security robot that patrolled the Times Square subway station and the controversial Spot robot, also known as the DigiDog, for the New York Police Department to use during hazardous situations like hostage standoffs. Humane's universally derided AI pen is not exactly flying off store shelves, according to internal sales documents published by The Verge. As a matter of fact, returns seem to be currently outpacing new purchases. So many have been returned that there are only around 7,000 units out in the wild. The company had once hoped to sell 100,000 in the first year, so that ain't happening. To date, around 10,000 have been sold and 3,000 have been returned, leaving the aforementioned 7,000 in the hands of consumers. Now, this gadget costs $700, so people are obviously returning it after learning it doesn't exactly do anything useful. I mean, wouldn't you? To that end, around 1,000 pre-orders were canceled once reviews started coming in. We called it the solution to none of technology's problems and struggled to understand who it was even for. This was before the charging case accessory became a potential fire hazard, which added to the image of the product being the ultimate example of tech hubris. And there's a reason, after all, why noted tech vlogger Marcus Brownlee called it, quote, the worst product he had ever reviewed. Thanks for listening. There's more to these stories and additional articles at Engadget.com. This episode featured journalism from contributors Anna Washenko, Danny Gallagher, and Lawrence Bogg, and was voiced and produced by me, Steve White, from Spoken Layer. Enjoy your day, and I'll be back tomorrow with more tech news from Engadget.